Hello, my good human. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Luana Rose, nervous system specialist from the Good Human Academy. Today's video, I am answering a question that I get often from people that I work with and also people that I just spend time with, and that is, how do I help our world heal from racism? Systemic racism that goes way back beyond most of our lifetimes. Now, you're probably not going to like this answer, but stick with me, hear me out, because I am coming at this from a body nervous system level. I have experienced both ends of the spectrum. I work with people that are people of color, just like me, and perhaps like you or someone you know, and somatically, in their stress physiology, they have experienced a lifetime of suffering, shame, a physiological feeling of I'm not worthy enough, I'm not good enough, I'm unlovable, unacceptable because of the color of my skin, which is at its core, at its most human level, one aspect of racism. So it affects our nervous system, it affects our dignity and who we are. On the other end of the spectrum, if you don't know, I come from a family, I was adopted, and the family that I grew up with are all white. And so I'm kind of this bridge of identities, cultures, races. And so I'm on the other end of the spectrum a lot of the time of living in communities, eating dinner with people that look completely different from me. So this video is specifically to my people that identify as white, that are asking the questions, well, how do I, in this small town that I live in my life that, doesn't really get affected by racism personally because, these individuals' skin is white. It's in many environments in Canada where I am, that's a bonus. If we were to pick someone up and put them in, in a city in Mexico or Brazil or Panama or, Algeria, it may be a different story. Then the white person would experience their otherness in a different way. But this video is for my people that are white and are asking the question, how do I help our world heal from racism? The first thing I want you to know is that we're actually biologically wired to have unconscious biases. Unconscious biases, which are a big thing to do with racism and systemic racism. Just as they're as much to do with, do I want pineapple on my pizza, or is that a big no? These are unconscious biases or conscious biases that we all have. Now, we're biologically wired to have these unconscious biases because in our prefrontal cortex, the upper part of our brain, we have these things called mirror neurons. And if you look in a mirror, what do you see? You see yourself. So developmentally, those mirror neurons, if you have a child or a child in your life, are those mirror neurons that when you are talking to a baby or you hold a baby and you coo at the baby and make a kind, loving face, the baby will replicate and mirror back to you what they're seeing. And those are those mirror neurons developing, which is so cool because it's how we develop our vagus nerve, our emotional connection nerve. It's how that vagus nerve touches all our large organs in our body. It's literally wired into our system because of these mirror neurons to look outside of ourself to find sameness. Mirror neurons, which it may sound so wild, but this mirrorness as we grow up to be teenagers, adults, and what do? We choose things that we consume. We choose things that we consume on Netflix, on TikTok, on social media. Who do I want to follow? What kind of content do I want to consume? This content that I choose to consume influences my thoughts, influences my sense of who I am, influences how I see others, how I treat others. This is how culture is created. And if I am an individual that simply isn't aware that, oh, I have unconscious biases, then I may be making choices that kind of feed the fire of continuing systemic racism and continuing something so simple yet harmful as beauty standards. Even to this day, as the media and you'll see on marketing and ads, it's diversifying. Yet, even to this day, many folks still consider traditional beauty, traditional, just revering beauty as a white person, pale skin, blue eyes, blonde hair, tall, skinny, or the hourglass shape these days because of unconscious bias. And it comes back to our mirror neurons. So I think that's so important to know, because our mirror neurons, if we're not aware that, oh, I will organically and biologically look for sameness in when I'm strolling on social media, who I follow, what I consume, then all I'll see is, if I'm white or whatever shade you are, and you continue to look for sameness rather than diversify, then of course we're going to live a very certain life and continue on feeding systems that maybe we need to ask more questions about, and also look in the mirror for ourselves and ask, oh, I think I probably have some unconscious biases. I have had to do this for myself as well. I am mixed race, so I kind of don't fit anywhere, and I also fit in everywhere on a good day. So a book that's really helped me with that is Layla Saad's Me and White Supremacy, and I'll put it right here. Me and White Supremacy. It's so good. It's like a workbook, so you can read it yourself and kind of go through her content, or get a friend, do it with a friend, because it does bring up hard stuff. Even me being a person of color, it was so worth it, and a challenge to work through, because it makes us ask those hard questions to ourselves. So coming back to these mirror neurons, and how can you help our world heal from racism? The biggest thing that I can suggest is to do your own inner work. As you know, here I am all about healing from the inside out, healing our nervous system, building that regulation, building your capacity to feel all the emotions, all the sensations on the spectrum. So instead of going out donating to a cause or joining an organization, those are all fabulous things to do. I really believe that we all need to turn inward to heal from systemic racism and transform through our own healing. Because let me tell you something that I see so often, is that talking about racism is uncomfortable. It really is. It doesn't matter what shade of skin you are, it's uncomfortable. And if our capacity to deal with uncomfortable emotions and sensations and physical sensations, like I know for me, even now, when I talk about race and my experiences and other people, and listening even to anyone, no matter the skin color, I often will feel a charge right here, tightening in my throat. My belly will kind of turn into a knot, or I'll feel angry, or I'll feel sad, or I'll feel disconnection. There's a range of emotions that we may experience. And if we're cut off from our emotional state, if we're cut off from the sensations in our physicality because it's too intense and we just don't have the capacity, then how can we help our world heal from racism? We cannot. So this is why it's so crucial to go inward and build our capacity, build our nervous system regulation. That's why I made the course Nervous System Regulation Made Simple. Not specifically to heal from racism, but specifically to help build our capacity to have those harder conversations, to build our capacity to be able to look ourselves in the mirror and truly see ourselves so that we can see others. Because something so simple that can be so harmful is to say to a person of color, I don't see your color. I don't see that you're different from me. And that simple phrase can be so well-intended, meaning like we're one, yet it completely dismisses a person's identity and who they are. So if I'm unaware of simple things like this, then it can really cause destruction and harm in our world. So my biggest suggestion is to turn inward. And so many of us really struggle with seeing ourselves in pain, seeing ourselves, our inner child, if you will, or our younger parts in fear or anguish. And when we can hold our younger parts, when we can hold those more tender, sensitive parts of us, we can give that to another. And that is how our world will heal from systemic racism. I hope you learned something from this video. I will be making more videos on this topic in the near future, so make sure you comment below if you enjoyed this video and if you have any more questions, because I will answer them in future videos. So thank you so much for being here, participating, and I will see you very soon.